All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are back again. As you can see, we've got some guys that have finished off getting poked out of the way. Guys that have been glued to their bases and seem to be almost holding. And that means that it's probably getting close to gluing of arms time, which is another process in itself, and definitely will allow me to move on to the next phase of getting everything sorted out. So just going to quickly get these guys their arms attached. This allows for just quickly punch these on at 100 mile an hour. The quicker I get them on, the better I feel. And then it's not too much of an issue, and then we can move towards, obviously soon, once bases are 100% set, we can move towards putting bases on these guys, and then they are complete, and they'll be able to go with the ones that have already been based. Tonight, as you can see, there's a few that have had their basing at least attributed to what they were doing. So let's get in to that position and get those guys looked at. I'm going to go in again, and I'm probably going to finish off this shortly, actually. Tonight will be the plan, I think. We'll try and get some of this, as you can see. She's got some tail lights going, some more of this white panel lining done, and then I'll touch it up, trying to fix up that with the black so that it doesn't look as shonky, because it's pretty bad. We'll get in, do a couple of bits and pieces on there. But we'll just put those guys aside, because what we'll do is we're going to work on this, and we have already got a once combustible liquid there. And we'll get that in there, splash that all over the actual hobby desk then. So yeah, that went okay. Just killing drones just cause, and splashing white paint down on the desk for no reason. Throw that over there, and another drone complete. Get over there, out of the way, please. That, oh, I've got to paint some silver on that. Got to remember that. We will get to that. We'll get this lovely airbrush thinner in there, and we'll be able to, got a fair old mix. I've got a nice big brush here to mix with. I stuck that with some glue over accidentally. The point of that is mix the absolute bejeebers out of it so it breaks down like a mofo, and we have a little bit of getting rid of that, because, well, we don't want that shit in the way. And then we can move into our, hopefully, if we can get the same consistency out of this as we did with panel lining. Oh, lovely. We will do the same thing here. Just try and get it in those grooves. Get it to flow. And then we can clean up afterwards where we made a few mistakes, which is fine by me. It's just more or less of getting this on the model per se. I'm happy with cleaning up my problems later on, because I'm going to have to anyway, because as you can see, oops, we're already making a mess on this. So we're just going to get this in at 100 mile an hour, because the sooner it's done, to be honest, the better for both me and the model. Won't look so... The word I would like to use is forked, but, you know, trying to keep this a PG-13 friendly channel, even though none of my videos are set with that age restriction on it, because I just want to be myself, and therefore I don't want to have YouTube yelling at me if I accidentally swear because I've forgotten that I'm not allowed to. So we are flying with this panel, homemade panel liner, which is just some AK interactive white, pro acrylic, actually pro acrylic bold titanium white. That is what we're using, and then we are using some airbrush thinner to thin it right down, getting the consistency of basically a white panel liner. And I'm just brushing it on with a 4-0 brush to make it a little simpler, a little easier to apply. As you can see, it's actually slightly flying off the brush, which makes life easy, because we eventually are going to have to pull up on this mission of missions, because very shortly I'm going to watch the sport I like the most, because qualifying is about to start at the Monaco Grand Prix, and I wish to see where young Oscar Piastri does appear on the grid. Very nice fellow, have worked with him in other jobs, and he is a absolute gem of a bloke. Very nice, very friendly. I can't complain, or I can't speak highly enough of him. But I think that just is the way a lot of sports people are in Australia in terms of that kind of sports person. The others I've dealt with have all been quite polite, quite friendly. So yeah, just a little bit of knowledge about myself and the other jobs I've had. And I'm not nerding out like I am right now. I do some crazy stuff, and that stuff means I meet some really cool, interesting people. Anyway, we have flown through that section. We have one section left to go, which is over here. And then I would say the panel lining on this bad boy is actually complete, unless I decide that I'm going to hit the actual... I might run across the back there, just because it's the way it sits. And I think what I'll do is I'll try and get this in the chests of these two fine pilots, which then also can run down their helmets like so. And that is also gives me something a little different. Just make sure that's in there good and proper. Oops. Make sure that's in there good. Lovely. And there we go. So I'm going to call that, at least for panel lining, done. Which means that maybe today Oh, it's stuck on some glue. Maybe today, because that's what I've intended to do, was just hit that up. We're going to call that the end of the video. Nice, short, sharp. Don't forget, this will probably go out on Sunday night, the 25th, so you possibly have 12 hours left to get on that competition. The posts are up on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. Just follow the instructions, and next week I'll do a live video showing everyone the winner. But as for it, that's all from me, so bye for now.